to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this dress. Someone sent it to me on Instagram. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make it. It's like an A-line dress with also like A-line sleeve or almost like a flutter sleeve. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to be using about 4 yards of fabric depending on your height and depending on the fabric you're using. I'm going to be using Akara fabric, and like we know, I can't use it this way. By the length is about 46 inches, and the dress is supposed to be a long dress, so which means I'm going to be using it by the width, because this is the length here, but sometimes you can get the fabric that runs by 60 or more than 60 for length, but since this one doesn't go that way, I'm going to be cutting it by the width. So what I'm going to do is to open it up. So guys, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and fold the fabric this way. So you see, I folded my fabric, and the width you're going to fold it is going to be like your widest part of your body divided by 4, and then you're going to add like extra 5 inches or 6 inches to it. Because this is going to be an A-line dress, so it has to angle out at the end. So the widest part of your body is what you're going to use here, plus extra like 5 inches or 6 inches. So the widest part of my body is my hip, which is 48, divided by 4, that's going to be 12. And then I have, which is somewhere here. So, and then I have about, you see, for me, I have about extra 5.5 inches more. So that's the total width I have here. So that's how you're going to fold your own. So now we're going to start inserting our measurement. So the first thing you're going to do is to come up here, mark your line for the length of your dress. It depends on the length you want your dress to be. So for me, I've marked mine. Whatever length you want to use, add 1.5 to it, 1 inch of folding the rough end and half an inch of joining the shoulder part. So I've marked my straight line. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and start inserting my measurement. So my shoulder measurement is about 16 divided by 2, that's going to be 8. I'm going to mark that here, and then I'm going to come down here, put in my armhole. My armhole measurement is 20 divided by 2, that's 10. I'm going to just mark it here, and then connect my line straight this way. And then for my shoulder again, I'm going to mark my shoulder to bust measurement, which is about 11 inches, right, for me. And then the next thing you're going to mark is your shoulder to your waist. So for me, my shoulder to waist measurement is about 17.5. So somewhere here, I'm going to mark that. And then the next thing you're going to mark is your shoulder to your hip. So for my shoulder to my hip is about 25 inches. So I'm going to mark that here. So now we have 3 lines. So guys, at this point now, we have your shoulder to your bust, your shoulder to your waist, and then your shoulder to your hip. So what you're going to do is to go ahead and give your armhole curve. So I'm going to go ahead and give my armhole curve right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start inserting my measurement. So you're going to come to your bust line. So this is my bust line, right? On my bust line, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4. So my bust is 42 divided by 4 is going to be 10.5. So I'm going to use 10.5. It depends on you if you want it to be fitted or if you want to have some room. You can use 1 inch of 1 inch of ease, or you can use half an inch of ease depending on you. So for me, I'm going to be using about half an inch of ease. So that means my bust measurement divided by 4 plus half an inch of ease, and then extra 1 inch of seam allowance. So that's going to be 12 inches here. And then you're going to go ahead and mark on your waist measurement. You're going to divide it by 4. So for me, the waist I'm working with divided by 4 is going to give me 9. So that 9, you're going to add 1 inch of seam allowance to it. If you want, you can also add the same half an inch of ease again. So that means 9.5, and then you add your 1 inch of seam allowance. So that's going to be 10.5, and then you mark it here. The same thing goes for your hip. You come down to the hip line, you divide your hip measurement by 4. And then after that, you're going to add about your hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra half an inch of ease, or you can use 1 inch of ease like I said before. So I'm using just half an inch of ease. So that is going to be about, so my hip measurement divided by 4 is already 12, plus extra half an inch is 12.5, plus 1 inch of seam allowance. So that's going to be 13.5. I'm marking it here. So now some pictures, when you see them, the A-line is like more prominent, and then some of them when you see them, the A-line, you can't notice it that much. But for me, this one on the thumbnail, the A-line is not that noticeable. It's almost like it looks like a straight dress, but it's actually A-line. So it depends on you how you want to do yours. So you're going to go ahead, and remember, if you make it like a straight dress, you won't be able to work with it except you add a slit to it, right? And this one here on the picture, you will find that it looks as if it has a slit. So it depends on you what you want to do with yours. You can go ahead and make your A-line, because if you make it narrow at the end without any slit, then you can't work with it. But you can still make it straight and then give it like an opening all the way like 18 inches up so that you can work with it. Or you just make it A-line and then don't add any slit to it. So what you're going to do now at this point is you're going to connect your bust measurement to the waist, and then you're going to connect the waist measurement to the hip. So guys, connect the bust to the waist to the hip, and then from this here, you're going to connect it all the way to this point. So you're going to connect this here in a straight line all the way to this angle here where the cloth actually ends. So guys, after that, you're going to come up about 1.5 on this line. You see my line that angled the A. So you're going to come up here by 1.5, and then you're going to blend it into the end. So you're going to just blend it, curve it right into the end of this here. So you see, come up by 1.5 on this line, and then you're going to blend everything into this straight like this. So you see, what you're going to do is come up here and then put your shoulder slant. So I'm going to mark 1 inch down here is going to be my shoulder slant, and then you're going to come in here by 3 inches for your neckline. And then after that, you're going to, so we're going to cut, what we're cutting now is actually the back, and then with the back we're going to trace the front. So guys, now the next thing you're going to do is to give it the neckline you want. But for this one here, it has a very deep V. So you're going to go ahead and cut in the V. I think the V goes all the way down to where the bust is, almost to the chest line. So I'm just going to go ahead and come down here and put in the V. You can measure from your shoulder to the where you want the depth of your V to be. So I'm going to use about, let's say, almost 10 inches down. So I'm going to use that all the way. And this V is slightly open, so it's not like a straight V. It curves like a U almost. So I'm going to just curve it out. So at this point now, this is the whole basic bodice that you need. But remember, for the front bodice, you're going to come in here by about 1 inch all the way from halfway to the armhole. Come in about 1 inch and then connect it this way, right? So this is going to be your front armhole is going to go in deep like this, but the back armhole is going to follow this one that is straight, the first line that we made. So with this here, go ahead and just cut this out this way, follow this line. So I'm going to show you guys what you're going to cut first. Cut out the back neckline, go down here, cut out this shoulder slope, follow this front one here, not the one that goes deep. Follow this one first, go all the way down here, and then cut all the way down to this point. Give it this curve coming this way, and then you've cut out the back bodice. And then you're going to use that back bodice and cut out exactly another pattern that looks like that. But this time around, what you're going to do on that pattern is, now you're going to cover out this neckline and then cover out this part of it. So now I'm going to move to the smaller version of this, because I'm not going to be cutting this pattern. So guys, this is the smaller version here, and then as you can see, this is my neckline here for the front. So this is the V, and this is the, so what I'm going to do now is just to cut this out. So guys, now I've cut this out. I'm going to separate, you see, I've cut everything out. I'm going to separate the front and the back. So this one here is going to be my back panel. This is going to be my front panel. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out the V neckline here. If you look at the picture at the moment, you will see that it's a V neck, but you can use any neckline that you want. So I'm going to be using a V-neck for this. And then after cutting this out, I'm also going to go ahead and cut out the part of the armhole, because remember, your front armhole is supposed to be deeper than the back one. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut that out. So guys, now you see the next thing I did is to cut out my facing. So you're going to just follow that same neckline, and then you're going to cut out something that looks exactly like that neckline. So you see, this is my facing. Let me open it up so you guys can see. If I open up my facing now, you see this is what it looks like. I just cut out basically the same neckline is what I cut out. So you see something that looks exactly like this, because it's going to help me to have a clean finish So I'm just going to have this way, and then you see for my front neckline, you see, just fold your fabric this way and then cut out another piece of fabric, put it underneath it, and then trace out the neckline that you have and trace it down up to the shoulder. You don't have to use the whole extent of your shoulder, you can go halfway through your shoulder. So this is what it's just because this is a smaller size that is looking like I cut out the whole length of the shoulder. You don't have to go all the way far like that. So you see what I have here. So if I open up this neckline now, this is it here. So this is how I'm going to go and join it on the sewing machine. You're going to take it, you see the right side is up. I'm going to place the right side also facing, so right side is facing each other, and then I'm going to just go ahead and sew this part close, and then also on the neckline here I'm also going to sew it close. So guys, this is it here. I've gone ahead and made a stitch all the way on the two necklines. So what you have to do now is to join the two shoulders together. So see, one is facing me this way, so I'm going to take the other one and place it on top. But in the meantime, remember you're supposed to flip this inside, right? You're supposed to flip this inside, so it will give you that clean finish. So you see, if you flip this inside here, you have this clean neckline at the moment. So you see, so you're going to also take this one and flip it in, but you're still going to join the shoulder. So you see, right side is facing each other now, and then I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulder. And to join the shoulder, what you have to do is take one of the shoulder, so maybe let's say the front one, place it inside of the you see where my neckline at the back is. So this is my neck, let me fold it so you guys can see. So this is how my neckline is at the back. You're going to open up one, take this one that you've already flipped inside out, put it inside of it this way, and then you're going to use this one to cover it up and join your shoulder. Do it on the two sides. So guys, you see I've joined the two shoulders. So you see what I'm saying? Now all you have to do now is to flip this back out. So you see, when you join it, you use this one as a covering. You see what this looks like? You see? So now you're going to just go ahead and flip it out. There are different ways to join your facing. If you want, you can also join just the facing alone together, all the facing together, and then join the whole neckline together. That's another method, but this one also works. So you see, now you can bring it out. So just basically your stitch is underneath the shoulder of one of them. So you see, this is what the neckline looks like. So at this moment now, we'll go ahead and iron it, and then we're going to cut out our sleeve. Side, everything looks clean. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how you're going to cut the sleeve, and then we're also going to attach the sleeve on this miniature version too. So you can go ahead and use a flutter sleeve and cut it like a long flutter sleeve. Like I already have a tutorial on how to cut that on my channel. I'm going to try to link it, but if you want, you can use that kind of sleeve. Any type of sleeve you can use. But for this video, I'm just going to try to replicate the one on the thumbnail. So basically, it's like an A-line sleeve. What you're going to do is just fold your fabric wider, the same way that we folded our fabric, wider than what you want the body of the, like wider than what you want your sleeve to be. Because now if you divide your armhole by 2, or you can go ahead and measure. So you can go ahead and measure around this part of your armhole, right? You can measure around your armhole. Whatever you have is what you're going to use. So let's say for me, I have like 11 or 10, whatever I have. So you can go ahead and place that in here. So you can go ahead and place that in here like this. And then, so I have 10. Let's say I have 10, right? I'm going to mark that here. And then you can go ahead, put in your sleeve cap about 4 inches down for me, and then connect it this way, right? Sorry, connect it this way. And then what you can do is connect from this line. So this is, you're just going to draw in your basic sleeve. So draw in your basic sleeve, connect this line to this point. So I have 11 inches, I'm going to connect it. All I'm doing now is just drawing in my basic sleeve. Halfway through 11, this straight line is going to be 5.5. Mark that here. Give it a curve at the bottom, and then give it a curve at the top, almost like you're marking an S. And then what you can do is just to make it the same A-line like the body. So from this part here, you can go ahead and connect it all the way to this end. You see, this can be how you want the sleeve to be. It will be open like this at the end. You see, you can move further than this. I think I have about extra 3 inches more. You can move further than this and make it like 4 inches more, so that your A-line can go even further than this. Right, it can go further than this, or you can make it a butterfly sleeve, which basically what you have to do is come down from here to where your elbow is. Let's say my elbow is at 11. I'll mark 11 here, and then I'm going to connect round my elbow. Let's say around my elbow measurement is like let's say it's like 12 divided by 2 is 6, plus extra 1 inch divided by 2 is 6, right? Plus extra 1 inch of seam allowance is 7. So what you can do is just connect that to this point this way, connect it to this point, sorry, and then what you can do is then from this point here you can now widen the end. You see, this is another method. So now what you have is like a butterfly sleeve, if that makes sense. So I showed you guys 2 methods now. You can go ahead, fold your fabric wider than what your armhole would normally be. Go ahead, draw in your normal sleeve. You're going to have excess fabric at the end here. Then at that end, you can go ahead and make it like a line, blend it down to this end. Or you can go ahead and use the butterfly method, which is this one that is inside here. This one that is inside here, come down like this one here is this first method I showed you guys now is just going to flay out to the end, but this second method I just drew in here, it will narrow in a little bit from your shoulder coming down, and then it flays out. That's the difference between the two. You can use any one you prefer, and then at the end here you can just come up 1 inch here and then blend it down in here. So blend it in this way. So you see what this looks like. So this is basically how you're going to do it. You can use this method here, you can use this method here. It depends on what you want to use. So, and then you go ahead from this point, cut out your sleeve. So guys, you see the 2 sleeves here. So I decided to cut 2 of them, 1 on each side. So just so I can show you guys. So this is the one that curves in and goes out. This is just the one that goes straight. So I'm just going to attach the 2 of them, and it's left for you to decide which one you prefer. So once you attach this here, you can just go ahead, and once you put this into the sleeve, just go ahead and close up the side and close up the end of your clothes. And this is the butterfly. You see, it came in a little bit here and then narrowed out. It depends on you what you want. Then this is the A-line one. It just goes out flayed this way like a flutter sleeve. But this one, if you look at it, I know looking at it on a small scale, it looks like the 2 of them are the same, but there's actually a difference, because this one narrows a little bit here and then flares out. This one just flares right from your armhole all the way down. So that's basically it. You see what this looks like. Go ahead, fold the end of your cloth. It's going to go all the way down to the end. So that's basically it. And again, when you're cutting your neckline, make sure to cut it. If you want to use V, make sure to use a V that will fit your head, because the worst thing that will happen is like if you cut a small V and then your head cannot pass through. So you try to cut a deeper V so that your head can pass through it. And if you don't want a deep V but you still want a V and you want your neck to pass through it, just try and open up the back here like about 5 inches, and then use the kind of facing that goes in and put a button at the back. So that's another way you can do that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.